clock is ticking, and the air in Detroit has never been this heavy. Forget everything you thought you knew about the Lions and the draft. Passivity is dead. If you think Brad Holmes is going to sit comfortably at number 17 and wait for luck to knock on his door, you haven't been paying attention to the new era. The phones are ringing off the hook, rival scouts are sweating, and the news just breaking via ESPN is clear. The Detroit Lions are a declared trade-up threat. We are ready to strike. Listen up, family. Jeremy Fowler just confirmed that the rest of the NFL views the Lions as the imminent danger in these final hours before the 2026 draft. Brad Holmes is sniffing around a massive move up. While the experts and armchair GMs are saying it's impossible, claiming we don't have the capital because we don't pick again until 50 and then wait until the fourth round, they're forgetting one crucial detail. Brad Holmes doesn't play to participate, he plays to dominate. Word on the street is that 2027 picks are untouchable across the league this year. Everyone is scared of the future. But here in Detroit, the future is today. If there is a player on that board who can turn our offensive line into an impenetrable fortress to protect Jared Goff and blast craters open for a run game, do you really think Holmes will hesitate over a spreadsheet? Our mission is clear: the offensive line. The intel suggests a frantic run on tackles will explode in the top half of the first round. If we stand still at 17, we're watching elite talent vanish. The target? It could be Caden Proctor, the mountain from Alabama. He's been mocked to the Browns at number 6, but the buzz says Cleveland wants to move down to stockpile picks. That is where the trap is set. That is where Detroit proves that pride isn't just a slogan, it's a hunting posture. This isn't just about who we pick. It's about showing the NFL that the top of the mountain is painted Honolulu blue and silver. While Detroit prepares a surgical, aggressive move, on the other side of the fence, desperation is rotting the America's team. Jerry Jones is backed into a corner, and what happens in the next few hours will define who truly runs the NFC. Look at the difference in energy. While Detroit knows exactly where we're going, the Dallas Cowboys are lost in a maze. They hold 12-20, but they are terrified of making a mistake. They're desperate for Ohio State linebacker Sonny Styles, but to get him, they'd have to climb into the top 5. And who's sitting at number 5? The New York Giants. You think the G-men are giving a divisional rival a gift on a silver platter? Not a chance. Dallas is paralyzed. They're missing their second-round pick from the Quinnen Williams trade. They are out of ammo, while we have our finger on the trigger. Jerry says he's waiting for calls, but the truth is they are watching the clock bleed out. The final mocks might put Caden Proctor in our lap at 17, but draft day is trench warfare.
If Brad Holmes smells blood, if he sees Cleveland or even the Chiefs at number 9 looking to deal, he's pulling that trigger. We spent decades being the team that almost made it. The team that watched elite blue-chip talent slide by while we settled for scraps. That version of the Lions is buried. If rival scouts are terrified of our aggressiveness, it's because they know a Detroit Lions team with an even more dominant O-line is the ultimate nightmare for any defensive coordinator. Keep your eyes peeled. Smoke is rising from the war room in Allen Park. Will the move be expensive? Maybe. But the price of not winning it all is much higher, and we've paid that price for far too long. Hold on tight, because the Lions didn't come to this draft to spectate. We came to take what's ours. Look, as someone who's lived and breathed this team through the darkest years, watching the Detroit Lions be the league's doormat for decades, my take is visceral. We have to go on the attack and stop asking for permission. For too long, our culture was built on the safe pick, accepting whatever crumbs fell to us in the draft and just praying it worked out. But Brad Holmes has fundamentally re-engineered this franchise's DNA. He's turned us into predators. If he's sensing a chance to trade up and snatch an elite talent for our offensive line, I say pull the trigger and don't look back. We aren't in that rebuilding phase anymore where we need to hoard picks for a rainy day. Our title window is wide.
Open right now in 2026, and every piece we move on the board needs to be a masterstroke. I see this potential move up as a total declaration of war. The rest of the NFL, especially teams like the Cowboys, are used to a passive Detroit. But seeing Jerry Jones panicking while we act with surgical conviction is proof that the tables have turned. A lot of people get hung up on draft capital, crying that we only have pick 50 after the first round. But I'd take one Caden Proctor guaranteeing Jared Goff has an eternity in the pocket over 3 or 4 mediocre players who don't move the needle. The O-line is the heartbeat of our game. It's the engine that lets our run game demoralize opponents. If the price of dominance is aggression, then we pay that price today. The truth is, I trust Holmes implicitly, because he's proven he doesn't make moves just to win the news cycle like Dallas does. He moves because he sees the perfect fit for our grit and grind culture. If we trade up and hijack a rival's target, or simply ensure the best protector in the draft wears Honolulu blue, we're sending a clear message to the NFC. We aren't satisfied with just being competitive. We want the throne. The old Lions would have been too scared to risk the future, but the new Detroit knows that the future is built with ballsy moves in the present. It's time to embrace being the villain the league is so afraid of and go get the final piece for our Super Bowl run.